Hey everyone, this is Bramble Shadow 4, and today I want to show you how you can upload your own custom cards to tsssf.net. Now, if you haven't visited the site in a while, we're now in version beta 0.10.1, and this update has a lot of new features to let you add your own cards to the game. So first thing first, what you'll want to do if you want to add a new card to the website is find art for the card that you want to upload. There's a lovely shipfic bureau right here that we can go through and we can find, let's just say, a card we want to upload. Let's go to page 5 for fun. Copy, paste. That seems like a fun one. Copy the power of one pony code on the grid. Choose one party shipped with the copy paste counts as gendered. Choose one pony this card is shipped to with the copy paste counts as gender swapped version of that pony for the completion of goals. Interesting. Now, we can't actually implement the special part of this card, but what we can do is we can make this card here and we can add the name, the keywords, all the sort of the male earth pony symbols to the card easy enough. So first thing we want to do, now that we have the card we want to add, we want to create a pack.json file. Now, I recommend using something like Notepad++ to create these files. I've downloaded it here. And basically what you want to do is you want to copy this template in. Now, the name here is going to be the name of your pack. So since this is a demo, I'm just going to name this Bramble Shadow Demo. And usually the namespace attribute here is something you typically want to be unique with your pack. So this is, of course, if you want to publish it and have someone else use it, you want to make sure that the name of your card isn't the name of their card. And that way you never have an overlap. So you can usually do this by just specifying who named it. So we can do Bramble Shadow 4, and pack name, we'll just do demo pack. Easy enough. We'll save this in my desktop. Demo.json. The trick here is you want to save it as a JSON file. That way there's a previous failed attempt at this tutorial. Pack1JSON here. And when you do this, you'll notice that we'll start to get some errors. So you specifically see that this is highlighted in red here because this is not a valid JSON file. We need to delete these. These are just part of the tutorial to help you know where to place them. So let's start by adding a pony card. Here's our copy and paste pony card. The first thing we'll want to do is, because it's called copy paste, so we want to type out copy paste, and then we'll want to open the two brackets here. Now, any properties of copy paste we'll type in here, but that's all we basically need to create the card itself. The first attribute that we'll really need is the URL attribute. So that was URL, we type that, and then basically we open this link in the new tab, we take this image file, and then we put it in quotes, and that's all we need to do to add the URL attribute. I'm gonna add a comma here. The next thing we need to add for all pony cards is the name attribute. Name is the name of the pony. So this pony seems to be copy paste. I don't actually know who this character is. It seems like it's an OC. But if it was like fanfic author Twilight Sparkle, you would just want to use Twilight Sparkle, not whole fanfic author. So because it's copy paste, we'll just name it copy paste with that. And this is the name attribute that it will use for any goal cards. So this name attribute will match any goals that specifically specify a card named copy paste. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to add some of these attributes. So this is the gender attribute. So we can do gender, male, and then copy paste is an earth pony, so race, earth. And the final things we want to add are some of these, the special keyword attributes here. We don't want to include any names. It doesn't look like these are any name attributes, so we won't want to double include copy paste. That's what this name is. But we do want to include the others. So if we type keywords and the colon, and then we want to open up a pair of brackets here. That's what we use for the keywords. We can then type in all of the keywords that are on this card. They include Pokemon, Ditto, OC, and running, runaway. That's what it's called, runaway, with 2 N's. It's really important you make sure everything's spelled correctly, because if something is not spelled correctly, it's not going to trigger any gold cards. And I'll show you what I mean for that in a second. So that is enough to create your card. Again, what we did is we created a pony here, we added copy paste, and then we added a whole bunch of other things. Now, if we wanted to add multiple cards, we can do the same thing with another, and I'll come back here and do one of those real quick in a second. But this is all we need to know. So I'm going to save this file. Now, if we come back to the website, if we do host game, we'll be taken into the normal lobby options. We can do choose cards, and we can come down here and select pack1.json. And you'll notice that here we have Bramble Shadow Forward demo, and look at enough. We have the copy paste right here, and we can now play this card with the game. I'm going to add a few more cards, and then we can come back and show you how to test those cards in the game. So let's add a ship card. Let's go back to the website. We'll just pick this one. A Little Holiday Quesos. Timeline change. This is actually good. So when we implement this card as a hot timeline, again, we want to do the same thing. We will first start opening up the image in its own tab. We'll come down here to the ship section this time. And the name of the card is A Little Holiday, spell it right, Holiday Chaos. Again, we'll open up the curly braces to add the properties. Now for ship cards, all we really need are the URL property. And then we'll want to copy this URL right in here. And that will be it for the ship cards. Notice when I have a single property, we're not going to add a comma at the end. The commas are only separating the different properties that are here. Actually, we do have one more property. Now, because this adds a timeline, we will have a special action. Action properties have functional impact on the card. So if we come back to here, so timeline, alt timeline is a way we can add a pony attribute there. We want timeline change. This is a list of full ship attributes right here on the page. So we want to use the timeline change attribute. So that's going to be action timeline change. So do action timeline change. Perfect. And we'll now if we come back to the lobby, if we re-upload the cards, yeah, there we go. And we'll test with this one out in a sec. The last thing I want to do is add a goal card. And maybe we'll add a start card as well. Let's come back over here. That's pretty funny. This one is actually one we can do, Tsunami. That'll be fun to implement. Okay. So we'll keep this one open. Again, for goal cards, it's pretty much the same thing as before. We open the image in the new tab, copy this image link. We come down to here, goals. The name of our goal here is Tsunami. Open up those braces to add the attributes. We want to start with the URL attribute. Add there. I did not copy this apparently, so let's copy that. Yada, yada, yada. Now for gold cards, we do want to add the points attribute. Points. The point attribute, of course, is this number right here. It's 2, and this might seem a little weird. We're going to use 2, and we're going to use quotes on that as opposed to just 2. And the reason for that is some cards might be worth 2 to 3 points, in which case that's how you would do it. But for here, we just do 2. And that should be good enough to get us started with these cards. So let's go back to our game. Oh, let's close that. Here we have this. And we're going to upload this one again, upload the same file. You'll notice that Tsunami is missing the points property. Really, I thought I misspelled it. It should be points with an S. So as you can see, there are some error detection things when you upload cards that'll hopefully help you out if you make mistakes. But if you're like me, you just want to be perfect because, again, you implemented the system. Why the heck are you not perfect? There we go. Now we have Tsunami. Now, I'm going to show you how we can test some of these goal cards out, right? So if you want to test these, you'll want to have them, combine them with other cards that can potentially trigger. So this one has the OC one, right? So if we want to test the thing, we'll add some so I'm going to add some other cards to the game here so we can easily test those out. I don't think we want extra credit. Seems like good. So here's how we can test them out. When we start the game, let's start. Okay, so when we have the custom cards in the game, what we'll want to do is, first of all, we'll want to get the cards we want to test. When you get Tsunami here, we'll come back to this, but you'll see Tsunami has the 2 points right there. That's looking good. Other things we want to test, let's grab copy paste, and let's grab our ship, right? So you'll notice that again, because this is a timeline change, when we add it to the grid, we want to make sure that we can test it with a timeline. And sure enough, we have the choose a pony to gain a time traveler keyword symbol, and then boom. So we know that ship card works. That's great. We've tested that one. Now let's test copy paste. So copy paste has the OC keyword. Now one way we can, and a bunch of others, one way we can do that is we can try to have a keyword change card. And if we do this, we should be able to see all the keywords here. And I'm not seeing that, which is probably a bug in the code. My mistake. You cannot test it that way. But one way we can test this is try to find an OC specific goal. Let's find that OC goal. Here we go. Why is everything glowing? When this goal, when any pony is shipped with 4 ponies with the OC keyword. Now, because copy paste has the OC keyword, all we need to do to achieve this goal is to add a few more OC cards to Twilight. And if it is correctly implemented, we should be able to see that that goal will light up. Sure enough, the goal lights up, which means that this correctly does have that OC attribute, and that's good to go. So we know that card works. Or we know the copy paste card works with the OC keyword at least. Now, one thing we want to check out here is the Tsunami. You'll notice that right now Tsunami has this icon over here that says this card does not have any goal logic associated with it. That's because goal logic is a more complicated attribute. So let's go back to the card selection screen. You'll notice that this card has a goal that you win when any Aria, Blaze, Ember, Limestone Pie, Rainbow Dash, Sugarcoat, or Trixie is shipped with any of those characters, right? So that's a lot of characters. So, but the way this works is if we go back to the documentation here, the way we can implement goals is by adding what we call goal logic to it. Goal logic has a lot of different forms. It's its kind of own syntax, and it's relatively complicated. So if you do not want to get in this territory, you do not have to. But if you do want to make gold cards, this is absolutely essential. The trick is to have a goal function. So the goal function is what actually checks if the goal is achieved, right? There's several different types. This one checks whether a pony exists on the grid. Exists ship checks whether a ship exists on the grid. Exists pony ship to checks whether a certain pony is shipped to a certain other set of ponies. Exists chain is how you can check chains. Play ponies is how you check if it played ship, yet, etc. So for our goal, we want to check that any one of these characters is shipped with any of those characters. So we want the exist ship keyword. So that's going to look like this syntax. So if we come over here and copy this goal logic, we can then paste this string in, exist ship. Now what you'll notice is that we need to fill in the criteria. The criteria are basically, you basically take the attributes on the card and you write whether they're equal to that or not. And the attributes, of course, are based off of here. So you can check the name, the race, the gender, the keywords, and all these other properties in this logic. So if we come back here, so you'll notice that we want to make sure that this attribute equals that value. But there's multiple. We want to make sure that we can include all of the cards. So we can use the OR operator to figure those criterion out. So if we come back here, if we come back to our card, the card is when this called when any of these character names are there. Now there's a lot of them, so let's get the list of name downs. It starts with any Aria Blaze. So I'll type in Aria Blaze, and that'll be name equals Aria Blaze, or the name is Ember. Name equals Ember, or Limestone Pie, or Rainbow Dash Sugarcoat Trixie. Sugarcoat. Now you want to make sure you spell these things correctly. Like sugarcoat is not spelled with an E. I'm dumb. Let's add our name attributes. Name equals Trixie. Now if that's looking kind of long, we can probably change this to have word wrap on. That'll make it easier to read. Okay. So we have name is Aria Blaze, the name is Ember, or the name is Limestone Pie, or the name is Rainbow Dash, or the name is Sugarcoat, or the name equals Trixie. And we want to make sure that one of those is shipped to one of those, and that should do it. So now that we have that goal logic set up, we should be able to re-upload our pack. And apparently there's a Json error. Let's look. We're missing a comma here. Got to have those commas. There we go. That should do the trick. Now if we join in and start game, we can set up this kind of goal. And again, we want to check if any Rainbow Dash is shipped with Rainbow Dash. And it also works for cards like Trixie. So let's pull out 2 Rainbow Dashes real quick. Rainbow Dash. Always likes to dress in style, you know. So if we ship Rainbow Dash, we do not need to do a race change here. With Rainbow Dash, we should find that we're getting that goal, and indeed we do, because Rainbow Dash is shipped with Rainbow Dash. We can try to test this out with some of the other codes. Do we have a Trixie? Great and powerful Trixie. We swap it out, swap in Trixie, boom. We also achieve that goal. So that is how you can implement that one goal. As you can see, there's a lot of different goals that you might potentially want to check on, and there's a lot of different attributes. So the one easiest thing to do is if you're going to get really serious and wonder how is a card implemented, you can actually check out here. You can actually go to the website and check out all of the different cards that are implemented, and they'll show you the various attributes that are associated with them. So if we scroll down to the goals here, you can see all the goal logic for the different cards. Like Budding Curiosity this is the goal logic for that card. King Command Honor, this is when you play 3 ponies, all of them are Pegasi in a turn. So this is a really great resource if you do not know how to get one of these working, or you're wondering how does that card implement that goal logic so that it works. This is a great reference. But apart from that, there's not too much else really to talk about. Again, if you want to add multiple cards, you can add another card. So if I want to have 2 copy-paste cards, right? I can literally copy-paste it, and then can have copy-paste 2. All of the same attributes as before. Now when I upload the cards, you can see, oh, no, I want to upload this again. Now we have 2 copy-paste cards. And again, you just do that, but you have 1 on top of each other. Don't forget the comma. Add the second one. Make sure this name is different. If you have it the same name as before, you'll notice if I upload this, you'll notice it doesn't have 2 of the cards. So you want to make sure that you have unique names for each pony. And again, you can use names in core as long as you don't have the namespace equal to core. So now if I upload that, again, I'll have the 2 ponies. Easy enough. And then, yeah, that's how you play with this. I hope this is helpful. I hope this is not just me rambling on and on and on forever. But yeah, if you ever have any questions, you can probably just reach out to me. I haven't seen a lot of people use this feature, so I'll probably be available for any questions if you have that. Happy playing shipfic.